The Stoic Path, Finding Strength in a Restless World. The Age of Noise. We live in an age where the world never sleeps. Notifications buzz, voices clash, and desires are multiplied by the screens in our hands. Yet, 2,000 years ago, the Stoics were already speaking about this problem. They warned us that the world will always pull us outward, but wisdom lies in returning inward. True peace is not found in the noise of the world, but in the stillness of the mind. 2. The core of Stoicism. Stoicism is not a cold rejection of life, nor is it an emotionless silence. It is the art of living with clarity. At its core, Stoicism teaches one thing: control what you can, accept what you cannot. This simple yet powerful principle changes the way we respond to suffering, loss, and even success. For the Stoics, philosophy was not theory, it was medicine for the soul. 3. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus, once a slave, became one of the greatest teachers of Stoicism. He said, "Some things are within our power, others are not." This is the dividing line of a wise life. We suffer not because of events themselves, but because we cling to things we cannot control. The Stoic learns to focus only on their choices, actions, and character. The rest is left to fate. 4. The enemy within. The true enemy, the Stoics said, is not the outside world, but our inner weakness. Anger, fear, greed. These are storms that rise within us. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled an empire, confessed in his journals that his greatest battle was not with enemies at the borders, but with his own mind. Stoicism is therefore not about conquering others, but about mastering oneself. 5. Practicing voluntary hardship. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, practiced sleeping on the floor, eating coarse bread, and wearing rough clothing, even though he was wealthy. Why? To remind himself that luxury is not necessary for happiness. The Stoic trains in hardship so that when life delivers pain, he is not destroyed by it. Comfort makes us weak, but voluntary discomfort builds resilience. 6. The shortness of life. The Stoics often meditated on death, not to be morbid, but to live more fully. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." By reflecting on the inevitability of death, we sharpen the present moment. Every sunrise becomes more valuable, every word more meaningful, and every action a chance to live with honor. 7. Fortune and misfortune. For the Stoic, fortune is a trickster. Wealth, fame, and power may appear sweet, but they enslave us if we cling too tightly. Likewise, misfortune can be a teacher. Epictetus reminded us, "Difficulties show what men are." To a Stoic, obstacles are not curses, they are opportunities to reveal character. The power of reason. Reason is the weapon of the Stoic. When anger rises, reason cools it. When fear whispers, reason answers. When temptation blinds, reason opens the eyes. The Stoic life is one of constant reflection. Why am I angry? Why do I fear? Why do I desire this? In asking, we expose illusions and find freedom. Living with nature. Stoics believed we must live according to nature, not in the sense of forests and rivers alone, but in harmony with our human nature. We are social beings meant to cooperate, not to tear each other down. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." To live wisely is to live with virtue, justice, and compassion for others. 10. The practice of daily reflection. Every night, Stoics looked back at their day. They asked, "Where did I fail? Where did I succeed? How can I do better tomorrow?" This practice, though simple, builds inner strength. We sharpen our minds not once but daily until wisdom becomes habit and virtue becomes natural. 11. Strength in adversity. The Stoic does not pray for an easy life. He prays for strength to endure a hard one. Storms will come, but the Stoic anchors himself in reason, courage, and acceptance. He does not curse fate, he works with it. He does not fear pain, he transforms it into growth. He does not run from life, he embraces it with calm dignity. 12. The eternal lesson. 2,000 years have passed, and yet the lessons of Stoicism remain urgent. In our restless, anxious, and distracted world, the Stoic voice calls us back. Do not waste time, master yourself, live with virtue. The Stoic path is not easy, but it is a path toward freedom, strength, and unshakable peace. 13. The Stoic view of anger. The Stoics warned us that anger is a form of temporary madness. Seneca wrote, "Anger is like falling into a pit. Once inside, you no longer see clearly." When anger controls us, reason disappears. The Stoic does not deny anger but learns to pause, breathe, and return to reason. In mastering anger, we master ourselves and preserve peace. 14. Wealth and true riches. To the Stoics, wealth was not measured in gold, but in contentment. poor man who is free of desire is richer than a king who is enslaved by greed. Epictetus reminded his students, "He who is not satisfied with little will not be satisfied with much." True wealth lies in needing less, not in possessing more. 15. Love and relationships. Stoicism was not about isolation. It valued deep human connection. The Stoics believed that friendship, family, and love must be rooted in virtue, not selfishness. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we are made for cooperation, like hands and feet working together. To love with wisdom is to see others as partners in the journey of life, not as possessions to control. 16. Facing fear with courage. Fear is a shadow that follows every human being. The Stoic does not run from it, he confronts it with courage. Epictetus said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about them. By questioning our fears, we weaken them." Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. 17. The Stoic warrior mindset. Life to the Stoics was like a battlefield, not of swords and shields, but of choices and challenges. The Stoic warrior does not complain about hardship, he sees it as training. Every insult, every failure, every loss becomes a chance to sharpen his strength. To live as a Stoic is to rise each day like a soldier prepared for duty. 18. Gratitude and simplicity. The Stoics practiced gratitude not for luxuries, but for the basics: food, water, breath, and the gift of waking up alive. They taught that happiness comes not from chasing what we lack, but from appreciating what we already have. When we shift our eyes from desire to gratitude, life becomes richer instantly. 19. Fate and acceptance. The Stoics embraced the idea of amor fati, the love of fate. Whatever happens, good or bad, is embraced as part of the greater order of the universe. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you." By accepting fate, we free ourselves from endless resistance and discover serenity in the flow of life. 20. The legacy of virtue. At the end of life, the Stoic asks, "Did I live with virtue? Did I leave the world better than I found it?" Fame, money, and pleasure fade quickly, but character endures. The true Stoic legacy is not carved in marble or written in history books. It is the quiet example of a life lived with courage, wisdom, justice, and self-control.